So with that, very warm welcome to our press conference here at Hannover Messe. My name is Richella Odebrecht. I'm the Senior Vice President for Global Marketing for Schneider Electric's Industrial Automation business. It's my pleasure to be here with you today and also to welcome all our participants who are joining us via our live streams. Before jumping into the presentations and introducing the speakers for today, I just want to make a brief comment with regards to the exciting news that Peter Herwig will be taking over as the next CEO as of May 4th. Now, in the meantime, he's not taking any media interviews, but you will be hearing from him when he has settled into his new role. Now, with that, I would like to introduce you to our speakers. We will be joined today by Barbara Frei, our Executive Vice President for Industrial Automation, followed by Caspar Herzberg, CEO of AVEVA, one of our independent software companies here with us today. Both are members of the Executive Committee of Schneider Electric, followed by Tanuj Khandelwal, who is the CEO of ETAP, our second independent software company here with us. And then last but not least, joined by Peter Weckesser, our Chief Digital Officer and also a member of the Executive Committee of Schneider Electric. With that, Barbara, over to you. Will you get us started?
So thank you very much, Richella, and a warm welcome also from my side. It's a bit strange that I cannot really, but I hope you can hear me, eh? It looks like. So let me start with our performance in 2022. In 2022, at Schneider Electric, we did 34 billion euros of sales revenues. And this means it's about 18% growth and 12% of it was organically. From my point of view, it was a great achievement because what you have to take into consideration, we had at the beginning of the year, the Ukraine-Russia crisis, we had the shutdown, the lockdown in Shanghai, and we also had to fight in a certain extent on the supply side to get enough material to fulfill our customers' demand. As you can see, our strongholds in the business is energy management and industrial automation. On both we have software. What I would like to emphasize here, 72% of our revenues are going into green solutions. So 72% of our revenues are helping our customers to become more sustainable by higher productivity, less energy consumption, and so on. So with this, I would really like to make the connection to our profitability, which is 17.6% EBITDA adjusted, saying, look, profitability is not a contradiction to sustainability. Sustainability is a real business and it makes profitable business. Not that we are also recognized by our stronghold of sustainability with different awards. We are also recognized for our inclusive workplace and we are also recognized for our multi-hub structure. As you might know, we are organized in four global multi-hubs. And with this, we really empower the local organization to take fast and strong decisions locally and also to localize the R&D. Something which we think is strongly differentiating us from our competitors. So empowering, close to the market. Now, I mentioned before our sustainability journey. And I'm really proud that we walk the talk on our own activities since more than 20 years. So 200 factories are digitized, 5 are recognized as lighthouse by the World Economic Forum. And by 2030, we have the commitment to eliminate all operational CO2 emissions out of our operations, which is the scope 1 and 2. In the meantime, we of course focus a lot also on our suppliers, which represent the scope 3 upstream, which represents a big part of our CO2 emissions. So that means we are going towards a net zero company that we would like to achieve by 2040 with compensation and by 2050 without compensation. Here you can see different achievements that we had with different starting years, but it's a remarkable progress on any dimensions. So how did this happen? There is a Chinese saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best is now. So everything started 20 years ago. to really prepare for this inflection point. This is when we reported our first sustainability report. And I think we were the only ones at that time to really go into this direction. Today, we are a technology company. In the last 12 to 15 years, we systematically have built up our portfolio around the eco-structure frame, be it on the connected, be it on the edge level, or be it on the software level. We are also proud to be a global player. 30% of our revenues is in North America, 30% is in Western Europe, and 30% is in East Asia Pacific. So we are really balanced through global company. And we are also an impact company. And I hope you can feel we are a people company. So a strong focus on sustainability, also with our stakeholders, be it the customers, be it our employees, be it our suppliers, or of course our partners and the society. So why is Schneider Electric becoming more and more relevant in this market? When we look at COVID-19, we saw an increasing demand, automizing more processes because people couldn't stand any more close to each other. We also saw more demand to have remote solutions. Customers which were reluctant before to implement those solutions immediately were keen to implement remote services. The same applies for reshoring. There is a demand to have less dependency between the continents. So that means if you want to reshore in certain European countries, you need to apply more automation. And the same applies also for the North American market. And then we are in a very specific time. So we have now energy volatility. We have an energy price who can go up and down in multiples. And at the same time now, we have an agenda, which means if we save energy, we can also mitigate the climate risk. So that's a unique combination. We also had energy crisis in the past, but the urgency to really act on saving energy is never been together like in these times. So what does now mean this? We need to optimize more. We need to digitize more to get the transparency and to make decisions. And we need to electrify to decarbonize the energy use. And all this leads to a higher sustainability overall. And we are in the middle of it to make this happen. Now, I brought you video from Henkel. So it's one of our customers in the consumer goods, and it's a chemical giant. I guess many of you know Henkel, with whom we already have established a long-standing global partnership since many years with our sustainability business. So we were buying for them, purchasing for them renewable energies. Many Germans in the room might know, of course, their laundry detergent, and you might use Persil also at your home. Henkel is really committed to industrial sustainability. They look everywhere to optimize their processes where it is possible. To modernize the energy-intensive spray drying process in its detergent production, Henkel chose an eco-structure for CPC solution, packaged consumer goods, including digital services, leading-edge industrial software from AVEVA and ProLight. And just by implementing the software, they realized significant savings in an energy-intensive application, up to 5% of increased energy savings and optimized operations. This story shows that you don't have to do it all at once. Even if low-hanging fruits have already been picked and processes have been optimized, you can still squeeze out more of your system with the right tools. So the energy crisis is here. And Henkel implemented this solution before the energy crisis, and their ROI, the return of investment on this project, was even higher than they expected. They really benefited now from them. Let me put it like this. Even that the gas prices in Europe have now gone down again, the crisis is not over. There is more structural energy savings that have to be achieved to cope really with it. And it's mainly in industries and building, and you will see later on why it is like this. And we are still, in that sense, in a crisis, and we have to fight for the competitiveness, specifically here in Europe. So as I mentioned before, industries and buildings are crucial. Why? When you look at industries, 1/3 of the energy is used there, and also 1/3 of the CO2 emissions is done there. And when you take into account that 60% of the energy is lost or wasted, there is a big potential to improve. We are not yet ready in the industry to cope with the volatility. Many of you might have seen that many companies have struggled with the energy prices, and you can clearly see it in their P&Ls. In Tanuj's part, you will hear a bit more about the demand and supply side of this electricity. So, if you have not yet planted your tree, the time is now to do it. That's our main message here. So, to drive the digital transformation, and I will repeat now what you have seen on the other slides, we need to accelerate this change. We need open automation, we need digitalization, and we need the electrification to decarbonize to really reach sustainability for the future. And again, let me emphasize like this, the technology is available to make it happen. And I will tell you in a minute why it's not happening overall. So when you look at the sectors in more details, in industry, we are relatively simple. We say there is heavy industry and there is light industry. Heavy industries, metals, chemicals, light industries, more producing industry, like for instance, also Schneider Electric or Henkel. So when you look, the energy consumption is higher in heavy industries, logically. However, the heavy industry already since more than 20 years has been doing their homework. They already have done a lot on energy savings. And therefore, when you look to the reports of the International Energy Agency, they estimate that 70% of all the energy efficiencies have now to happen in the light industries. And you will also see now in Caspar's presentation, many company names where we have done this kind of project. So digital transformation is really required to make these kind of changes and get those potentials. We have already saved a lot of energy, but if we really want to achieve the 2050 climate goals, we have to accelerate. We have to do double of what we have already done. So the time to act is now. So in that sense, the time to plant a tree is really now. So industrial companies have to take here a leading role in achieving climate change targets. 10 years ago, Industry 4.0 has been presented at the Hannover Fair by Angela Merkel. The technology exists and it has become even more affordable than 10 years ago. But the speed and the scale remains really challenging. And when we look at the last report, yes, 29% of the German companies have done IoT projects, but only 10% have really done end-to-end digitalization and can now today do analytics and business decision based on data. So what is holding us back in not going faster? The industrial sector is dominated by closed systems, not designed for flexible and prioritizing vendor lock-in over innovation. That's how the automation market has worked for the last 40 years. So closed automation in principle is holding us back. So like we have now to go towards, and this is our big message to you in that sense, towards universal and portable applications to really break up those silos. And for this, we decided in 2021, November, to create an organization because we are convinced we cannot do it alone. You have to do it in an ecosystem. And universalautomation.org is a non-profit association which is sharing the industrial automation runtime. The idea is to create portable software applications, plug and produce, so that you can easily put it on different vendors' hardware. Now, when you look here at the chart, we have now 37 members, end users, machine builders, distributors, vendors, and we have the first launched application by us, EcoStruxure Automation Expert in 2021. We have 5 additional ones now compliant with it in 2022, an additional 5 will come. So it starts to grow and become a real ecosystem now over the time. As I mentioned, EcoStruxure Automation Expert is our product based on universal automation. And we launched it in 2021. Now, when you go to the booth, you will see a first peek on the version 23, which is the version we will launch this year, where we have integrated high availability control. This will allow us to go to applications which are more demanding, like water, wastewater, or in the oil and gas area. What do we address here? We address the pain points of the end users. And this is a changing demand supply side. So you might have a logistics center where you want to add a new customer or you want to take away a customer. And with Automation Expert, it allows you effortless to add and make those changes. You need a resilient production. You need data exchange and portability. And you need, of course, an increased productivity. All these elements, pain points, we want to address with Universal Automation and the Automation Expert. And please go to the stand. Let's explain by the expert what it is all about to make this happen. Now, you can combine this edge control, of course, with edge computing. So we want to add more modules which allow you on the edge to compute together with artificial intelligence more data and to make then even more decisions to get more productive. So overall, and with this, I conclude my part here. Software plays a starring role in the future of the industry to make it more productive. And with this, I would really like to hand over to Caspar to talk about AVEVA.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you all for being here. Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be allowed to address you here and to share what at AVEVA we are doing, we have been doing with our customers, with our partners in if you like, planting that first proverbial tree on the journey to a more sustainable and a more equitable future. Now, Barbara laid it out very well. I mean, we are in a world of many concurrent crises and really competing priorities, if you like, right? We have recent and longer-term political events that mean that companies, manufacturers, our customers here have to reconfigure their supply chains very, very quickly, right? We at the same time have our net zero commitments as an industry, across industries even. We have companies, our customers have ESG and sustainability goals that they want to attain, quickly before it's too late, if you like, right? In the next 10 years. They have a lot to manage. At the same time, we have the energy transition also happening, right? The need to change the energy generation mix and to prove all of that against a company's auditable ESG commitments. So in this world of many touch points, as you can see here on this slide, clearly our customers, much of the industry is aware of the need, the benefits of digitization, the need to digitize, the need to use data, the need to use information to collaborate better, to make decisions faster. At the same time, that's not so easy. A lot of the feedback we are getting, a lot of the feedback industry is giving is that there is almost too much data, that it's like a swamp, a data swamp. It's hard to make decisions because you have competing information. I mean, there's one data set, there's another data set, and very often decision makers lose the overview of which data to really trust and how to make decisions. Next slide. So if you allow me to contrast that with a world where everything is connected, where within an enterprise, a large enterprise, but also across an enterprise supply chain, you can make decisions based on trusted information, information that you all know is from the same source, is believable, where your suppliers, where a customer's suppliers, partners, everyone can use this information to very, very quickly, using artificial intelligence, using the power in tools like predictive analytics to make decisions fast, to create synergies, and to document the advances, as I mentioned earlier, against ESG goals, for example, and to report on those. And of course, taking the power, not just in a enterprise, but across an entire supply chain, across an entire industry, we're seeing more and more customers collaborating on the basis of the same information. We call this the connected industrial economy. The connected industrial economy is fundamentally built on trusted information, but also digital twins of real life assets, through which operational data flows that allow you to collaborate. Ultimately, these digital assets are the basis for the metaverse, right? The industrial metaverse, where companies can collaborate, where you can collaborate within an industry. Now, what is the opportunity here? The opportunity here is that those that know how to do this, those customers, those enterprises that know how to do this, can outperform, this is a Gartner report, 3 times their peers that don't, 3 times or more. And where you don't just outperform in your existing business, but where harnessing the information that you have gained, this trusted information, you can 85% of the companies we work with see new business fields, new areas, new business models emerging out of the information that they have gained from their assets. So it's a very, very big opportunity. This is all not in doubt. Now, what does AVEVA bring, next slide, to this opportunity? What we bring is an end-to-end cycle, an end-to-end offering of applications that allow you to simulate an asset, right? How an asset will behave, what an asset will need. Applications that allow you to design it, engineering applications used, for example, to design an oil and gas platform or a manufacturing plant. Applications that allow you to operate it, to gain information from it, to gain information on the performance of your assets, compare those, visualize these, because ultimately there's enormous power in visualizing and showing how one asset is performing against another. And if you do that to your management team as a decision maker, you very, very quickly see, why is this asset so much lower than that asset? And you start to ask the questions needed to get to better performance. Much of this can also be done in an automated way. And then, of course, we go all the way to planning and scheduling with monitoring on control on actually executing, for example, in a manufacturing execution system. So this is what we bring. It's based on information management. You see that in the middle. This is an agnostic digital backbone that has the information, the time series information, which means it's information, it's data in context. It's not anonymous data. It is in context, and it feeds the applications, right? So this is what we bring. Now, how do our customers experience this? I've talked about the backbone. I've talked about the application portfolio. I think what is quite new is really an experience that allows you to, that allows a customer to experience these applications, akin to an app store, if you like, for industrial applications, where you can easily use one, use credits, you can use another, you can move all across the cycle that I have just shown you on the earlier slide, and easily consume one, many, without the need for a new contract or any type of interaction, actually, with us as a supplier. Now, I want to give you an example of where our applications are helping. Next slide, please. Are helping a very important customer of ours, Danone. You all know them. It is not, in this case, dairy. It is, in this case, baby food. And I invite you to listen to the team describing how our manufacturing execution system is helping them here. Please.
We provide nutrition to children, to patients, and to customers worldwide, and safeguarding their quality. The quality of the products that we produce is so essential, and that's at the heart of everything that we do. And Danmess plays an integral role in ensuring that the products that we deliver to our customers, consumers, and patients are of the highest quality. Danmess is actually Danone Manufacturing Execution System. And this is something that we have pioneered and developed to meet what we need from a process perspective.
We embarked on the design and delivery of Danmess some 5 years ago. It was a huge project. It was done with the participation of all Danoners to develop a tool that not only would satisfy SN, specialised nutrition, but also could be adapted cross-category into our dairy and waters division also, to ensure that we had end-to-end traceability. We designed the model to be modular, so there are 15 modules involved. 4 to 5 of them are purely traceability. This is the backbone of the system. This is what you start with. And then you can add quite a lot of different modules on top to improve your traceability, but also improve performance. License to operate is the buzzword. Our main drivers with this system: quality, traceability, productivity, and performance. License to operate means, yes, we are producing the material, it's quality by design.
Danmess is also driving efficiency, and through efficiency, obviously, productivity and profitability, and that is key.
We piloted our tool in Indonesia because, firstly, Indonesia was one of the most mature factories. There's 4 SN factories in Indonesia. They also had an existing MES, so they knew the ways of working and they knew the importance of an MES. The original design of MES was implemented in Indonesia by ourselves and AVEVA, which allowed us also to interlink those factories and have those factories working actually even better together. I think the Indonesian culture lended themselves to successful deployment, and it was a very, very successful deployment.
And I'm looking forward to the journey ahead where we'll have this solution in all our factories worldwide.
Infant nutrition, right, is one of the most tightly regulated, that you just saw in the Danone example. It's one of the most tightly regulated production processes you can imagine. And it fills us with particular pride that Danone would use AVEVA's manufacturing execution system for this important process. Now, Danone is not alone. There are many, many more customers. You can see here Kellogg's, Tyson, Schneider Electric, Heineken, Henkel, a great example here. So we have a lot of examples in manufacturing. As a matter of fact, we have many more such examples. We have about 20,000 active customers and more than 1 million installations across multiple industries. This is AVEVA. Next slide, right? AVEVA, what we really provide, if it is in one sentence, it is industrial intelligence as a service. And we do that because what we fundamentally are all about is industrial sustainability. Thank you. And I hand over to Richella.
Thank you very much, Caspar. Thank you for sharing AVEVA's vision of the digital industrial economy, the connected industrial economy. We would like to stay on the thread of software and digital twin with our next speaker. Tanuj, if I ask you to join us on stage. We've been making exciting announcements about ETAP joining forces with Alpi and IGXAO to become the leader in electrical software solutions. Can you tell us more?
Sure. Actually, it is quite strange not hearing myself, but hello everyone, my name is Tanuj Khandelwal, and I'm essentially here to celebrate. And I'm here to celebrate the creation of one of the world's largest electrical software companies that is essentially driving electrical design as well as operations. I'm delighted to also show you our new portfolio of software solutions that's essentially making sure that we use a digital twin, we leverage a digital twin, and we deliver value to our customers in many different segments. But let me just set the context really quick before we get into the portfolio. So climate change, as we know, is an energy challenge. And when we look at the past, we have seen as the industrial revolutions have happened, they've happened in power generation, they've happened in power transmission, and they've been evolving ever since we've added more digital into the mix. But the transformations have been quite siloed, and they've happened in these segments alone, and recently with the emergence of renewable energies. Now, what we need to essentially do is focus on making sure that we break the silos, and we make sure that we connect all these systems together to extract even more sustainability out of the existing networks that we have. And this is Electricity 4.0, where we converge software, digital, and electric together to make sure that we are maximizing efficiency and sustainability. And this is where the ETAP journey began, and it continues in this respect. Now, when we talk about sustainability really quick, sustainability is not just for large corporations, it's for all businesses. And every business can follow a basic 3-step approach: plan, execute, and improve. And when we plan, we are creating a roadmap. When we're executing, we are digitizing, and we are adding more information into our digital twin. And when we are improving, we are essentially improving the system by either adding more renewables or reducing our energy consumption. So this sustainability plan is something, again, that we carry throughout the entire life cycle and the way we think about software. Now, digitization itself has many facets. So I'll cover one facet, which is the ability to take a digitized piece of information and then augment it with real-time data. And just to give you a little bit of contrast, I have given an analogy, very similar to your car that's parked in your driveway. If you start digitizing information and you put it into a software, it's like you're driving and you see out of your the front windshield. You can see where you're driving. If you connect real-time data to it, it's like having a dashboard in your car. So now I can see where I'm driving, and you can see some information about the car. The minute you start including monitoring, advanced monitoring, you get contextual information. You start predicting things that you cannot measure. And we bring that value as well. And that's like a backup camera in your car. You have eyes behind your head that let you see where you're going. When we bring in predictive control, we essentially give the ability to simulate what is going to happen in the system. And it's almost like having your lane departure system in your car, making sure you're staying within your lanes and making sure you don't deviate from where you're operating. We also then bring in semi-autonomous operation, where you have specific targets, like parking your car. You tell the car to park, and it makes sure that it's parking in a specific spot, and that's all it does. And that's the ability to do semi-autonomous operations. And then finally, autonomous, where you tell the car, I want to go to a certain location, and autopilot takes you there. So similarly, in the electrical system, in the solutions that we offer, we can take you in a certain direction and make sure you're on target. So by essentially incorporating all of these digitizations, you can start building upon the value of the electrical design. Now, the problem doesn't quite end there. The problem also gets a bit more complicated. As I said, digitization is multifaceted. So you have digitization being done by different persona that exist in different companies. And as Barbara mentioned earlier, the scale of digitization is not as quick because we're also dealing with processes. We're also dealing with different groups coming together to make sure that there's one cohesive picture. And again, this is where ETAP comes in and provides a seamless end-to-end life cycle for the electrical system through our unique combination of different software. So for essentially designing the electrical system, we have ETAP that offers low voltage to medium voltage deep analysis of AC and DC systems. We have combined this with Canico, which provides a rule-based or standard-based design for low-voltage buildings. And we've also combined this with AutoCAD, Revit, or advanced electrical design for Revit that allows you to do BIM, or building information management based design, in a native Revit environment. So it essentially makes sure that you have the ability to do a model-driven design, a standard-driven design, or a 3D-based design. So the design choices are up to you. And then that data carries on into commissioning. So you can essentially move on to doing detail engineering, detailed wiring, harnessing, panel building, panel cutting, all the way down into the actual execution and commissioning of the system. And then we continue on with operations, where we essentially have the SCADAs for, of course, data visualization. But as I showed you earlier, the digitization layer is multifaceted. So we also leverage EMS for transmission, ADMS for distribution, and controllers for microgrids and power plants to make sure that the system is being operated correctly and in an autonomous manner at the same time. So when we put all of these different solutions together and all of these different companies together, we are essentially creating a leading sustainable enterprise platform that's taking us all the way from engineering design, simulation, all the way into operations. And our vision is to provide the best electrical twin for electrical and automation, grow the best-in-class industry-leading applications, have a single platform for management that's combined with the industrial platform, as Caspar mentioned, and then augment the digital twin with artificial intelligence, and finally, power success for our customers through a sustainable cloud and hybrid environment. Now, ETAP has been driving excellence in our customer base for an extended period of time, and we continue to our commitment to our customers in different segments, all the way from high voltage down to low voltage systems. Together with ETAP, with Caneco, with C Electrical, we are the #1 undisputable leader in electrical design. And as Barbara mentioned earlier, we have planted the tree many years ago. And now with this tree, we have about 1,000 people that are part of a digital forest that's ready to essentially provide solutions to the customers. The technology is ready today, and we are serving over 20,000 customers with over 220,000 licenses. And we are essentially building upon this digital forest to bring even more value to our customers. So together with ETAP, with Caneco, C, and advanced electrical design for Revit, we are essentially looking forward to continuing the customer excellence journey that we've been on and improving the energy transition journey. I would like to thank all of you, and make sure that you are looking at the demos that we have set up for you to take advantage and understand the full portfolio and the power of the portfolio that exists today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tanuj. Now that we've heard from AVEVA and ETAP, our independent software companies, about their visions, it's my pleasure to invite Peter to the stage and to connect the dots on software and data, and to give it an update on our EcoStruxure IoT-enabled open platform. Thank you. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you, and hello, everybody. So I will try to wrap it all together, what we have heard from Barbara, from Caspar, and also from Tanuj. And when we talk to our customers across the various domains that we are serving, from buildings over industry, infrastructure, and also data centers, many of these discussions are around the data platforms that our customers operate today. These data platforms, for the most part, are very fragmented. They come from various vendors, are non-open data platforms. Some are on-prem, some are in the cloud. And it becomes very, very difficult for our customers to get really access to their own data and drive insights into that data. So with everything that you have heard, as we wrap it together, this is clearly our ambition to help our customers to really drive insights into their data that they collect from their systems and platforms really at scale. Now, the solution that we are offering for this problem statement is actually called Data Hub. Data Hub is an AVEVA product, and we are building all of our solutions in Schneider around this product of AVEVA Data Hub. AVEVA Data Hub gives us the possibility to really collect data from building applications, from industrial applications, from infrastructure applications and data centers, put them all into one data platform, utilizing one identity solution, and making that data available for insight generation, for developers, for users, for across the ecosystem, and also utilizing, of course, many of our own software applications. Many great applications come from AVEVA, others come from ETAP, others come from Schneider. But of course, we are also open for third parties, for partners and our customers to put their own applications on top of Data Hub and generating these insights. Now, we have also made the decision to really re-architect some of the portfolio of Schneider, the EcoStruxure portfolio. And what you see here on this slide, that really Data Hub is in the center. It becomes the centerpiece between AVEVA and Schneider for the integration of the data ecosystems, but then also for the making data available for our customers for the insight generation. Now, this goes actually across our whole portfolio, and the way we structure our portfolio in Schneider is along two dimensions. One is really the dimension of domains, and I've mentioned that already, that we are very active in industries, in infrastructure, and also in buildings, but then also across the life cycle across these domains. So we start with a portfolio of design products, and Tanuj is a good example, not the only example, but a good example with ETAP, where we have a super strong portfolio of design products for the electrical design. AVEVA has that for process design. So the next part is the build phase. Most customers who design an application want to build it. Here we also support our customers with solutions like RIB. And then, of course, the traditional strength of Schneider is in operate and maintain. All the tangible products that really start with our connected products, edge devices, and then going into application software and services, where we tie that whole portfolio of software products as well as tangible products together to be utilizing one data repository called AVEVA Data Hub, to ingest that data into that data platform. And this will be available for all Schneider products. But what's even more important, this will be open for all third parties. So we will allow third parties, and we are already doing that today, right? That's not a futuristic announcement. AVEVA is extremely good at connecting to third-party products and ingesting data from these. And then, of course, providing an open API, an open interface, so that customers can easily access that data that they collect from various applications across buildings, infrastructure, and industry, and start to generate insights. Now, this data foundation, together with the openness of the EcoStruxure platform that we are taking to the next level, with creating an open API to EcoStruxure, providing that data access, is really the foundation for the next step that we are taking, which is really utilizing AI at a massive scale to generate insights. And I think we are extremely uniquely positioned in the way how we can collect energy and performance data, sustainability data, as well as process data. So all the relevant data domains of our customers, collect them through the technology platform, ingest them into AVEVA Data Hub, and make them available for insights generation through AI technologies. You will see more and more products from the Schneider Group utilizing AI on this insights generation piece. But we are also, of course, encouraging our customers to use that open API to build their own API-based applications to generate their own insights. An additional step that we are taking is also shown on this slide here, really bringing together the capability of our data collection capabilities, and with the outcome of driving asset efficiency as well as energy optimization based on the applications from the Schneider Group and also the openness capabilities that we have. Now, the last step that I want to talk about today is that we are also enhancing our service and solution offerings across Schneider. We have very strong solution capabilities in industry automation and also in energy management. And we are enhancing these solution go-to-markets now with our own AI capabilities. We have built a strong AI capability that is able to work with our customers based on all the technology platforms that I've presented to you, and really build AI solutions for our customers. And the combination of our technology capabilities and our domain know-how allows us to work very efficiently together with customers to build really custom solutions that specifically address the business problems for our customers. Now, let me summarize on my last slide what we have been describing to you across industry automation, energy management, AVEVA, ETAP, and how we bring that all together with a data platform solution utilizing AI really allows us to drive a massive transformation of Schneider itself. So we're doing this for our own factories, for our own internal processes. We are doing this for our customers. So we have the clear ambition to help our customers drive that transformation at scale. And we are doing that with many partners that work with us and where we work jointly for our customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter. Now, before we step into the Q&A part, there's a few announcements I would like to make. We will be throughout the days be hosting plenty of sessions here in the booth, presentations from our colleagues. Tomorrow morning, we will be hosting an exclusive media breakfast all around the topic of innovation. We will be discussing, on the one side, EcoStruxure automation experts, the newest version of our first open software-centric automation solution. We will be talking about autonomous automation, and we will be getting a glimpse into the industrial metaverse with a live demo through our friends from AVEVA. Now, speaking of the metaverse, we've been hearing a lot about digital twins today, and we see the metaverse as the next extension where a lot of this and all of this is coming together. And we would like to show you briefly, before inviting the speakers back on stage, what that can look like and how this drives value for industry and enterprises.
Everyone's talking about the metaverse, but what does it really mean? Let's play What If. We'll start. What if this metaverse could bring power, process, and building data together in one location? One kind of data for the whole of your company, for professionals and industry. What if you could see your data working in real time, all the time? What if all the data you needed from your enterprise systems came alive in the cloud? What if, before you did anything in the real world, you could build a digital twin and predict outcomes? Not just that, a process twin, an energy twin, an electrical twin.
Yeah, so we will be restarting. Sorry for that technical glitch. One moment.
Everyone's talking about the metaverse, but what does it really mean? Let's play What If. We'll start. What if this metaverse could bring power, process, and building data together in one location? One kind of data for the whole of your company, for professionals and industry. What if you could see your data working in real time, all the time? What if all the data you needed from your enterprise systems came alive in the cloud? What if, before you did anything in the real world, you could build a digital twin and predict outcomes? Not just that, a process twin, an energy twin, an electrical twin, to design, build, operate, and maintain. And what if the operational cycle was a closed loop, where what we learn from one phase lets us improve the next, and the next, and the next, making you more efficient and sustainable across domains? How about this? What if people could always be trained virtually? It would be safer. They could access it and collaborate from anywhere, and they could learn to be prepared for any possibility. What if you could pick and choose the specific services and expert support you need when you need it, and just pay as you go? What we're saying is, what if there was one experience, one open platform for all, where you could connect all of your devices and IoT systems to unlock limitless potential for power, buildings, industry, and infrastructure? Potential that can transform businesses and even help transform the world. Welcome to the Enterprise Metaverse.
Thank you very much. With that, I would like to invite our speakers to the stage for the Q&A. So for the Q&A session, for everybody who's here in the audience on site, if you would mind raising your hand, you will get a mic. It'll be very important for particularly the colleagues in the live stream to be able to hear what you're asking. And would you please mention your name and your media outlets? We will be taking questions from here as well as from the live streams.
I think you're going to have to repeat the question because we cannot.
We will hear it over the mic, over the loudspeakers. So who would like to go? Who would like to go first? Gentleman here. Nope, it's.
Channel, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Great, thank you. Neil Sanderson from LNS Research. So first of all, congratulations on the acquisitions of AVEVA and into the Schneider Electric family. And also I see the vision for the AVEVA Data Hub as being quite central here. Can you share any plans of how you want to integrate EcoStruxure, the AVEVA platform and the ETAP platforms, or do you plan to keep them separate?
So I can maybe take a first step at this answer, and then Caspar can help me on the AVEVA specifics. So we have made the decision on the Schneider side that we will re-architect our portfolio to some degree and really build it around AVEVA Data Hub, which means that all the advisors will be using AVEVA Data Hub as the time series data repository. So we have other solutions built into the advisor portfolio today. This will be all re-architected. And this is not only to use our own product, but this is also to generate more customer value, because it will be one data platform for all our advisors, really across the Schneider portfolio. So no matter whether they are in building or in energy or in data centers, they will all be using the same data repository and the same identity solution, which really allows customers then to utilize data cross domains, which is the key benefit and achievement here. So the ambition clearly is centering everything around the AVEVA Data Hub, re-architecting some of our portfolio, which means also the southbound interface, all the devices that feed data into the platform. The data will go into AVEVA Data Hub and be accessible from there. Caspar.
Then maybe just to add, you're absolutely right. Data Hub for us is a core SaaS that we are developing, right? A core SaaS that we will really put significant development effort behind, and that will be open, agnostic, that will be for many of our partners, right? A platform to to collaborate within, right? To work with, right? Schneider is one such example. There will be many more, right? That's where I leave it for now.
Who would like to go next? Gentleman over here. Here. Here.
You hear me?
No. Yes.
Now?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Klaus Lenger, IT Business Germany. Do you also have partners in the IT industry for the AVEVA Data Hub?
Okay. Yes, we have, as AVEVA, strategic partnerships. Clearly, Microsoft is one of our strategic partners. If you if you go to the Microsoft booth, you will see some of our core capabilities being an essential part of their of what they show, right? I want to add that we are also partnering with Accenture, with Capgemini, with a number of the global system integrators, right? On go-to-market and on many other related topics. So what you're seeing emerging is an ecosystem around Data Hub SaaS that is going to gain speed, right? Both in the industrial space and in the IT space. Yeah.
Thank you. Any further questions in the audience? If not, I will take a question from the live stream. Question around how can we build sustainability journeys and really also make sure that we engage partners around it and to have those partnerships of the future to actually get us to that destination on our sustainability ambitions. Perhaps, Barbara, if I let you comment first.
So first of all, I think one of the strengths that we have at Schneider Electric is our capability to work with partners. That's a long history, be it in the commercial part, be it in the R&D part. And I think in the end, it's very much to understand what we want to achieve together. We want to achieve climate neutral, net carbon zero. And this means we have to understand the details and go with our partners through those details and work towards this kind of vision or objective overall. I think, again, we have worked a lot with partners in the past. Now we can also this capability leverage, as we were mentioning, the IT partners, which play a crucial role in the whole thing, but also partners which will help us to develop certain products much faster because they have the capabilities and we don't have them. Yep. So it's very much having the same goal and then work towards it.
Thank you. Tanuj, do you want to comment since you've just been engaging on a new exciting journey with your partners?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, so the sustainability journey, again, it starts with a roadmap, right? And then we get into execution and finally the optimization. And when you get into the planning stage of the sustainability journey, it's important to essentially have a platform to make sure we are putting all our data into that single platform, because it's very important to know what kind of data we want to leverage in order to build on top of the sustainability roadmap that we have, because we have to see what we have first, visualize it, and then prioritize what we want to use. So it's very important that we look at multidisciplinary data coming into a single platform as sort of the beginning foundation of the sustainability journey. Then there's digitization that comes in that takes advantage of this data. And then finally, we are adding more infrastructure and more renewable energy and other means to essentially improve the utilization of energy and reduce the consumption overall.
Thank you very much. Questions from the audience? If not, I'll pick another one from the live stream. Very specific one. How can we leverage the energy from data centers to be utilized for providing cooling to data centers? Who would like to?
I can take one pass at it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I can answer the question precisely, but there is a dependency, a multidisciplinary dependency between electric and thermal. There's of course dependency between electric and water, and many other topics such as power and process. So one of the goals is to essentially have, again, a single platform that can take advantage of all this data that's coming in. And as Caspar mentioned, an ecosystem, if you may. And when we put electric data, we put thermal data together, now we can actually start, for lack of a better word, co-simulating, if you may, or taking advantage of the two sets of information that's coming in to make intelligent decisions. Do I ramp up more electrical use and risk thermal impact because I have cooling available? Or do I throttle my consumption down to maximize on the cooling that's available to me? And by throttling down has an impact on the operations. So what if you're a bank and you're dealing with millions of ATM transactions? What do? Do I throttle down or do I throttle up? How do I run my campaigns? So again, it comes back to the platform that can take all this data in, ingest it, and then we put applications on top that already do exist that can take advantage of this information.
Thank you very much. Any further questions from the audience? Because I see we're at the top of the, actually past the hour. So I would suggest with that, we close today's press conference. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would like to do a guided tour of the booth, we have colleagues ready to take you for a digitalization or sustainability focused tour. They're right here at the back of the booth. And with that, thank you very much for your attention and thank you to our speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.